Coming up on Hunter News Now, an exclusive interview with President Nancy Cantor that covers everything from Hunter's infrastructure to AI in the classroom.
A close-up look and listen to this week's scholar artist who is using music as a tool for change.
And we'll take you behind the scenes right here in the Hunter News Now studio and introduce you to our amazing crew who make this show possible.
All that and more coming up on this edition of Hunter News Now. Welcome to our fourth and final edition of Hunter News Now for this semester, and this is the second time in history that we're having this live here in the TV studio at Hunter. My name is David Horn.
And I'm Reagan Grant. Attention all graduates, this year's commencement speaker has been announced. It's official. Activist and Academy Award-winning actress Jane Fonda will address the class of 2026 at Hunter's 229th annual commencement ceremony. Since the 1960s, Fonda has fought for political and social change, and she is still an advocate for racial justice, women's rights, Indigenous peoples' rights, and global sustainability. Fonda's acting career includes 50 films and 7 Golden Globe Awards. When President Nancy Cantor told the Hunter community about Fonda's selection, she said Fonda is perfectly positioned to inspire our students as they get ready to use their Hunter education to make a difference in the world. The class of 26 will celebrate Hunter College's graduation ceremony on Friday, June 4th at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. With Hunter's graduation just weeks away, seniors are already marking the moment. Seniors can book portrait sessions with Thornton Studios in the West Lobby as they finish up their last semester of courses. Students have until May 1st to register for the ceremony and reserve up to 4 complimentary guest tickets. Graduates do not need tickets themselves, but they are required to arrive in official academic regalia. And while online deadline to reserve a cap and gown has passed, late orders can still be placed in person at Varsity Nook inside Hunter Essentials from May 12th through June 4th. More commencement details are available on Hunter's website.
Thanks, Reagan. I'll take it from here. The Pulitzer Center for International Reporting brought award-winning photojournalist Natalie Kesar to Hunter earlier this month. Kesar visited journalism classes and talked to students about the vital role of photojournalism at an evening event at the Roosevelt House.
Is the medium we use to attract readers' attention, to make people stop scrolling, and it provides a visceral sense of now and humanity. There's just no substitute for seeing the person's face that you're reading about, seeing the context in which they are living or what they're experiencing. But for me particularly, and I think this is very subjective, I really see photography as a very emotional medium.
The talk included a lively Q&A session led by Professor Shema Bairam. Kesar's approach to her work emphasizes deeper storytelling that explains what is happening while preserving the humanity of the people involved. This event marks 10 years of partnership between Hunter College and the Pulitzer Center, which has been bringing leading journalists to campus, inspiring the next generation of newsroom leaders like my co-anchor, Reagan Grant. Well, Reagan, I heard that you are actually going to be traveling to a foreign country pretty soon to report on a big story. What are you going to be covering?
That's right, David. I'll be traveling to Jamaica to cover hurricane relief efforts post-Hurricane Beryl and Hurricane Melissa. So I'll be focusing on organizations that are led by women and like the Jamaica Network of Rural Women Producers that help prepare their communities for storms and also help them rebuild post-devastation.
Well, if you guys haven't gotten the clue already, Reagan has been named as the 2026 Pulitzer Fellow. So Reagan, congratulations to you. We're all so proud of you.
Thank you so much, David. That means a lot.
And I know that you're going to be covering this very important topic, and we're very excited for you to go and do that. But I wanted to also say that the Pulitzer, the Pulitzer Fellowship, they award a journalist $3,500 each year in order to help recover more efforts and tell more stories overseas. So I wanted to also ask about why you're going to Jamaica.
Yes, I wanted to do this story in particular because my entire family is from the island. So it's an important story to me. It's truly an honor.
Well, wonderful, Reagan. Thank you so much. And we're so excited to hear you go.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, let's keep things going here as we continue on Hunter News now. She'll be traveling to Washington, D.C. as well to have a talk with other journalists here in that time. And we'll be very excited to see what goes on there. But congrats again, Reagan.
Thank you.
In addition to Reagan, though, some of our other newscasters have been shining on the stage, which our very own Rob Rada emceeing the TEDx CUNY Playback Conference just a few weeks ago. The conference combines TED Talks with performances, workshops, and swag bags to bring CUNY together for a day of fun. I had the chance to go to John Jay College to experience this conference and saw firsthand how we can rest, reflect, and re-engage with the stories that have helped shape our world.
Creativity is the ability to combine existing memories to form new ideas.
The TEDx CUNY conference hosted at John Jay College is a platform for CUNY speakers and their imagination, originality, and artistry. Hunter College's film professor Dave Steck talked about the creative process.
I didn't want it to be specific to a certain type of creativity, but to all creativity.
This year's conference theme was playback, and Steck said that delivering a 20-minute memorized speech was one of the hardest things he's ever done.
I think had I known how difficult it would be, I might not have done this. But now, having done it, I can't imagine not doing it.
All types of speakers took to the stage, including motivational speaker Richard Celestin, comedian Maggie Crane.
I never say to comedian unless this goes badly, then this is just a TED Talk.
And even HNN reporter Rob Rada. CUNY was well represented at this conference, with students organizing the event from top to bottom.
I feel like in CUNY itself, there are not a lot of spaces where all the CUNY comes together, and being student run makes it so special for us.
But TEDx CUNY isn't all talk. They give away a free swag bag to every attendee filled with goodies and even some merch. The TEDx CUNY student volunteers struck partnerships with companies with lots of treats and drinks. And the students there loved it.
It was pretty good. I like the Yobi one. It was pretty good.
TEDx CUNY has 4 divisions who work on various things like getting swag for the swag bags, organizing raffles, advertising on social media, and of course, booking speakers and performers. If you'd like to join the TEDx CUNY team, the applications will open up in the fall. Well, Reagan, I'll pass it over to you now.
Absolutely, David. From talks on artificial intelligence to modern dance performances, this year's Alumni Weekend showcases how Hunter College continues to connect generations of students. Florencia Rosarena has more on the reunion.
A day of celebration, memories, and educational talks as Hunter College welcomed back their alumni. Nearly 700 former students gathered for Alumni Weekend to catch up with former classmates and reminds about their time on campus.
I graduated 55 years ago, 1971, and being here is like yesterday. It changed my life, Hunter.
Alumni Relations Director Christy Matthews said that's what's made this reunion so special.
We have graduates from all different decades that came back. The earliest is 1949, all the way up to class of 2025. So it's really that cross-generational, sharing stories, and just seeing what Hunter students are up to today and all of our departments and programs, and really showcasing everything that makes Hunter so special.
One of the highlights, Hunter Dance Department bringing together current and former students in a performance that show how the arts continue to connect generations of students. Alums also went back to class.
Who thinks this one is AI? Go ahead and raise your hands. Who thinks this one is AI? Okay.
To learn how artificial intelligence is changing higher education and how to spot bias and deepfakes when using AI. President Nancy Cantor said this weekend is about more than just nostalgia.
Well, Alumni Weekend is just amazing because it really brings people across generations back together, but all with the same stories, the same spirit, and the same stories that show up in our students now. So it makes a great community.
As Hunter celebrates its alumni, it's also honoring a place that shape lives after graduation. For me, in my last semesters, while this chapter is ending, it's also a reminder that all the lessons and connections I made here, I will always bring it with me. Reporting from Hunter College, Florencia Arozarena.
Absolutely crazy to think that we're about to be alums, David.
Oh my God. It feels like just yesterday we were freshmen just getting here, Reagan.
Exactly. Well, now coming up on Hunter News Now, my co-anchor David Horn had a special chance to sit down with Hunter's 14th president, Nancy Cantor.
That's right, Reagan. I had a wide-ranging talk with the president and asked the hard questions on behalf of the students. You won't want to miss it. Stay tuned.
Millions of students across the U.S. graduate every year without a job. Don't let that be you. I am the student career advisor here at Hunter College. Our biggest resource for all students to access on campus is Handshake. That's where you're going to find all your job and internship opportunities. It's also where you're going to find a resource library to find everything that we offer to students. You'll also find all of our events and employer events, and you'll also find our upcoming workshops that include interview skills, career prep stuff. It's also going to be where you're going to find all the Career Week events happening and anything that you need career related at Hunter.
Dr. Nancy Cantor has been serving as Hunter College's 14th president since September 2024. My colleague David sat down with President Cantor and discussed her mission to maintain Hunter as an incubator of scholarship and creativity. David, tell me, what was your experience like talking with President Cantor?
Oh, it was incredibly surreal. And I felt so honored to be able to represent the Hunter College community on behalf of myself, making sure that I was asking the difficult questions. I ended up starting with what initiatives she is most proud of in her time since she's joined Hunter.
We've done a lot in terms of Transfer Student Success Center, the Immigrant Student Success Center. I do a lot of work nationally on issues related to immigration, and I'm thrilled at how that center is going. We have a new center that we've just put in place, the Impact Justice Center, for students who've been impacted by the justice system, either directly or with family and community. Very excited about that.
And what initiatives besides the Impact are you working on right now that excites you the most?
We're working a lot on thinking about what we're calling the finish line. That is, how do we make sure that you're about to graduate? How do we make sure that our Hunter students get through in a seamless way? And really thinking about kind of advising, making sure that we look at if there are small completion grants we could give, if there are summer courses students could take that would get them through.
And with that historic institution, there's some infrastructure problems that have been arising recently. There's unfortunately just so much wear and tear on the buildings given the size of the student body. Do you guys have plans to help combat that?
Oh yeah, well, we're working night and day on that, as you've probably seen. So we've been renovating a lot of classrooms. That's a very high priority, both in the West Building, North Building, a lot of classroom renovations. We've been looking at various things like Black Box Theater, and Film and Media is getting some new space and renovations. The second floor of the library is a really great project. It's almost done. There's going to be a computer center. There's going to be a new classroom, a lot of space for people to hang out, if you will. And then a lot of the boring, what comes across to people as boring, but really influences old buildings. So HVAC systems, and thinking about sustainability too. How do we make sure we're doing stuff in a way that is reasonable for climate sustainability?
wanted to ask a little bit about the use of AI in the classroom and kind of integrating that into course curriculums now.
I'm excited about, and a little nervous, frankly, about what AI means for all of us and how do we really thinking about what people call durable skills. I mean, the skill to agentically use AI, not to just sort of be taken over by AI, if you will. And so how do we get that really engaged in our faculty, in our curriculum and with our faculty? So arts and sciences is really doubling down on that, but all of our schools are. School of Ed is really at the forefront of thinking about how to train teachers, prospective teachers, to use AI in a creative way.
Switching gears now, I think this is an important issue to cover on behalf of the Hunter College community. Unfortunately, Associate Professor Allison Friedman was placed on leave after she was caught in a hot mic talking over a Community Education Council meeting as a parent. Can you give us an update on that situation?
Yeah. As you know, the Title VI investigation is going on, and I can't talk about details about that, but it's very much going on, and the professor is on leave while that goes on. I think the most important thing for Hunter students to know, and we try to get this information out all the time, is there are many avenues to complain.
With unfortunate situations like this, how are you and your team ensuring that all students feel safe on campus?
Yeah, I think the safety question is really about having lots of avenues to really talk about things. I mean, that, people underestimate the value of just being able to talk it through and so we want to make sure that there are lots of avenues. One can go within your academic department, you can go in student affairs, you can come to me directly, and students do. I'm always open to being emailed or having people come and talk to me. So we're here. We're here to talk about it.
On another note, I wanted to ask your opinion about the state of higher education right now and Hunter's role in preserving those diversity initiatives.
So, I always say to people, what would it mean to not do diversity at Hunter? What would that mean? I mean, we are New York. New York is a global diaspora. Our students come from all the boroughs, from all the communities. And the lived experience, the diverse lived experience, is what makes this place great and always has.
David, it was amazing that you got the opportunity to talk with President Cantor. Is there any moment that was particularly memorable for you?
I think one of her last answers with the diversity initiatives that I was asking about, her talking about how Hunter is so diverse and represents so much of New York, I think is really crucial, and I think that really stands true.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, next up on Hunter News Now, we head to the hard courts to meet our final Scholar Athlete of the Week.
And get ready for the playoffs with our sports reporter, Rob Rada. So stay tuned.
Hunter College Film and Media Studies major who won a real career in media, communications, marketing, journalism, design or production, we have good news for you. Meet the CIA Film and Media program, where they help you build real-world skills, land paid internships, and launch a full-time job after graduation. Yes, a full-time job after graduation.
You get dedicated hands-on career coaching support. You have networking opportunities, mentorship opportunities, and exclusive access to paid internships.
How can you join? Just search CIA program at Hunter College on Google and apply through the link. If you're accepted, you will get a confirmation email from Tara Chiari with your next steps. This is an excellent opportunity for any student who wants to land an internship before graduation or secure full-time opportunities after graduation. You can email Tara with questions or visit during drop-in hours on the 4th level of the North Building. See more information through their website right here.
Welcome back. Our Hunter Hawks are getting close to the spring season's finish line.
Yes, this is our last sports report of the semester. So here's our sports anchor, Rob Rada. Take it away.
Thank you, David. Thanks, Reagan. Listen, it is a big part of the season for us, all right? It is our time for the playoffs. The softball team had some big conference matchup as they continue their playoff push. When we left off, Hunter was set to face the first-seeded Baruch in a doubleheader. This was a story of defense. Both teams were held scoreless through 6. Baruch finally broke through with the only run of the day at the top of the 7th, and unfortunately, our Hawks couldn't answer in the bottom half, but Hunter bounced back in the second game. Grace Basil showed up at the plate, driving in 2 runs, giving the Hawks the lead in the 5th, and Baruch threatened late with a run of their own, but pitcher Abigail Bittinger went the distance. The freshman only allowed 5 hits while striking out 5 to seal the win. This moved Hunter to 5-1 in conference play. They hosted Brooklyn College for their final home game, which was also Senior Day. Our graduating Hawks, Adriana Ramirez and Brianna Flores, were honored before the game. The Bulldogs came out strong in the opener with an 11-5 win, but the Purple and Gold barked back. Hunter opened Game 2 with 3 runs in the second, behind RBI singles from Bittinger and Basil. And Brooklyn cut into that lead during the top of the 5th, but our Hawks erupted for 7 runs in the bottom half. They forced that mercy rule. Sonia Rosales Rosenthal highlighted the game with a 2-run homer, but Bittinger powered the offense with 3 hits and 2 RBIs. She also dominated the circle with 6 strikeouts in another complete game. Softball's final conference matchup is set for May 1st against John Jay. Both teams have a 6-2 CUNYAC record, and Hunter being the 3rd seed means they need to come out on top for the playoffs. Some late season awards for the women's basketball team and their 2-star seniors. Guard Alexa Charles and center Gianna Enriquez were honored at the Metropolitan Basketball Awards dinner last week. That's a mouthful. And Enriquez earned All-Met honorable mention, while Charles was named to the All-Met first team. Being named All-Met is a unique honor with 35 schools and over 500 players in the Division III women's umbrella. Congratulations to these two on their awards and their championship-winning season. Heading over to the hard courts, men's tennis shook off back-to-back losses and closed out their season strong. They had a challenging conference matchup against Brooklyn College, but our Hawks came on top in a tight 4-3 win. Big singles performances from Alexander Haju and Odin Debra sealed that win. This locked them in as the 2nd seed with a 5-1 CUNYAC record. Set for a rematch against Brooklyn for the semifinal, the Hawks soared to victory, winning 4-1. Now they'll have their toughest test yet. First-seeded Baruch with the championship on the line later this week. Since this is our last show, you can follow all the updates on the athletics website at huntercollegeathletics.com. While tennis has been building momentum heading into the finals, one player in particular has been a big part of that push. Junior Alexander Haju has been juggling all the course load in some of the most crucial singles and double matches of the season. Reporter Iris Coatzle has more on what keeps him serving up wins and his plans for the rest of the season and beyond.
Everything. It's been my life. I've grown up playing it. I've grown up watching it, and I work on court with the U.S. Open. It's my way of life at this point.
My name is Alexander Haju. I'm a nutrition major, and I currently play for the Hunter tennis team. I wanted to play college tennis in general because playing college sports is just an unforgettable experience. And I mean, tennis has been kind of my life for a while.
I remember Mom told me my first tennis lesson was like when I was like about 5. My first tennis lesson was around Queens College, I think, one of their programs. But after I'd start to really get into tennis, I've been coming here actually for my tennis lessons at the NTC. What I liked about playing tennis, it's I don't know, it kind of just stuck with me. The intensity, just also the feeling of just getting a good shot in, it's just unparalleled. In my opinion, it's the most volatile sport out there. It's one day you could be playing amazing, one day you could be playing absolutely horribly and hate it.
Because I'm planning to stay within tennis after I graduate, working as a coach potentially. Nutrition would help with that, but I wouldn't say tennis was like the driving factor behind it, but it is kind of related to my major. I'd say the bigger challenge is attending class with tennis, because it's a very weather-dependent sport, so we have matches rescheduled plenty of times, and a lot of it happens on very short notice.
Let's go! That's it, Hawks!
There's a lot of pressure as well. It's definitely affected my classwork. For anything that's like in Class, any in-class assignments that I've missed, I definitely haven't taken a hit there. I try not to think about the future too much in general. The more I think about stuff in the future, like a little further into the future, the more I worry, the more I panic. So I just try to put it out of my mind.
Really good. It's my first finals. And apparently that was the match that decided that we're in the finals, and it's just, I don't know how to describe it. I'm not used to this.
What a way to end our year. Congratulations and big good luck for Alexander Ju and the whole tennis team.
Absolutely. Rob, thank you so much for all of your sports reports this semester.
Thank you so much. It's been my honor.
Yeah, and Rob, thank you for that. And we're excited to see how the Hawks do in the playoffs.
Let's see how they go.
Well, coming up next on Hunter News Now, we'll tune in to our Scholar Artists of the Week and their musical talents.
And take a look at the people behind the camera who help us get this show on air all semester.
And students have a chance to win a free MacBook? You won't want to miss it. Stay tuned. Hey, welcome back to HNN. Hunter has so many artistic and creative students on campus. Here to highlight them for the last time this semester is my co-anchor, Reagan. Reagan, what's new in the art scene on campus this week?
Well, David, we're going to start with our Scholar Artist of the Week. We all know that balancing academics, leadership, and creativity isn't easy, but for one junior, it's all part of the rhythm of her everyday life. Sarah Mangione has found a way to turn her passion for music into both a personal outlet and a tool for helping others. Our reporter, DJ Ba, takes us on a closer look at how she's blending art and purpose on campus.
Oh, darling, if you leave me, I'll never make it alone.
I can convey so much emotion. You know, music is an outlet for me emotionally, and I'm able to just put everything I have into it, put my heart and soul out when I'm singing and playing. Hi, my name is Sarah Mangione. I'm a social work major. I'm currently a junior, and I'm minoring in psychology.
Love won't turn me away.
Originally from upstate New York, and I attended a music school from 8 through 18, like an after-school rock and roll program, and now I teach there. Okay, so the after-school program is called the Rock Academy, and it was founded by my drum teacher, my old drum teacher, Jason. It really influenced who I was, what I was able to see, and what else I wanted to write.
Two people vow to stay.
I would take accountability by messing up a few times, but in an environment like that, I was really able to understand how life worked. So the skills I learned as a musician kind of transferred to everything else. And that's how I really feel like I was able to balance everything, because I learned so much from music. So I have social work class on Monday and Wednesday. Then let's say in between my breaks, a lot of times when I'm on campus, I'll just come here and I'll just play my feelings out. I have an internship at Hunter where I'm a mentor. And it's So the skills I learned from that are really applicable for real life, like I mentioned, but specifically I got to see how people struggle. I struggled myself and I learned what would help me, what would help others. I want to be able to help others, but I'll always tell people about music and how it's helped me, but it's like teaching a skill that I feel you really get from life experience.
In other arts news, shows presented by the Office of the Arts and exhibits on campus made it an exciting few days for creatives at Hunter. The third annual Hunter Underground went live with 4 shows across 2 evenings. The event is entirely produced by Hunter's growing community of multidisciplinary artists and took place in the Baker Building's basement. The Speakeasy themed show had a mixer where audiences could observe everything from visual arts, painting, sculpture, and poetry. Then the night transitioned to performance art where students showcased their live musical talents, film and animation skills, and acting chops in an independently written play. On the same night, on the opposite side of campus, the K Playhouse also featured a multidisciplinary show, The Wound Where Light Enters. This performance is based on the life and poetry of 13th century Persian mystic Jalal al-Din Rumi. The Wound Where Light Enters combines theatrical storytelling, live drawing, dance, and music. One of Rumi's major themes in the performance is love. If you find yourself working hard in the Cooperman Library, take a study break and head up to the 6th floor where the States of Incarceration exhibit is being held. This moving exhibit features artwork, photography, historical imagery, and interactive content, detailing the history of incarceration in the West. It also discusses history that may be overlooked, like women's prisons, the connection of American slavery to modern prison systems, and human rights violations. And finally, the Office of the Arts hosted an Artist Encounter Q&A event with the Artistic Director of the Royal National Theatre, Indu Rupasingham. Rupasingham flew in from London to talk about growing up as a child of Sri Lankan immigrants and how her public education inspired her artistic career.
Well, Reagan, that seemed like a wonderful arts report, and there was so much happening on campus this week.
Exactly. So many inspiring moments. What a great way to wrap up this semester.
Of course. Well, Reagan, thank you so much for that. But in addition, let's keep things going. Film and Media Studies professor Ricardo Miranda loves connecting New Yorkers through his digital art. From a small art studio in Nicaragua to art exhibits in Berlin, St. Petersburg, and Chile, his latest artistic journey has landed work in the New York City subway system. Iris Cuatele has more on Miranda's inspiration for an ad campaign he and a colleague designed at the School of Practical Philosophy and Meditation.
Like many students, Ricardo Miranda found his passion for art while double majoring in English and art at UC Berkeley. He grew up in the Bay Area of San Francisco and finds ideas for his work in the world around him.
By the ideas of human migration, cultural loss, how we try to build our lives. And I'm very much an urban creature. I'm inspired by observing other people.
His latest project is an ad campaign to promote the School of Practical Philosophy and Meditation. The images can be seen throughout New York City subway stations.
When I ride the subway, the things that I'm very much drawn to are the artistic commissions that the subway, that the MTA does. And they're usually like illustrations. A lot of times they portray different facets of the subway system.
His images portraying the daily life of New Yorkers using the subway have been on display since 2023.
I saw how people seem to be transformed, and I would be interested in creating portraits of New Yorkers riding the subway with the intention of what the mission of the School of Practical Philosophy and Meditation is.
He collaborated on a recent ad with an alumnus of Hunter's MFA program to bring his subway art to life.
He kind of came to me. We had talked previously about this idea of almost like a comic or a multi-panel progression, like a human sort of morphosizing into an animal as a metaphor for the type of change that you might experience in the school.
Current students are inspired by these subway images.
it was really cool seeing like an ad from like your professor made an ad and like, you should dream big, right? You should dream big and see your work on the billboard in the subway. So meeting him and meeting his work almost feels like that dream is a little bit more tangible.
Miranda continues to create art while teaching and mentoring students.
I still get excited. I still look for opportunities. I'm trying to be more active, get back to a point where I'm invited to exhibit rather than me, having to search so much.
Well, Reagan, speaking of Subway, students better have their MetroCard ready for the CUNY Hunt. In celebration of CUNY's 179th birthday on May 7th, you can win a free MacBook in the university's first ever scavenger hunt.
That sounds incredibly cool, David. You'll get a list of photo clues with objects hidden around CUNY campuses. Visit as many CUNYs as you can and take photos with the objects. Then you post them on Instagram and tag CUNY. But you have to post them by Sunday, May 10th at 11:59 p.m.
Each photo you post counts as an entry, so honestly, I would submit as many as possible.
Yeah, a free MacBook sounds like a good deal to me. So, Hunter Hawks, make sure you register at cuny.edu/hunt. That is the only way to get the clues.
I don't know about you, Reagan, but I'm already mapping out which CUNYs are closest together to make sure I can get that MacBook. And also, shout out to a former HNN reporter, Nicole Rajgor, who was featured in that ad.
Yes, absolutely. Well, David, each Hunter News Now episode could not be possible without the work of our control team.
That's right, Reagan. There's so much that goes into a newscast behind the scenes that you, the audience, can't see. Until today, of course, thanks to HNN reporter Rob Rada, you can now meet Film and Media's chief CLT, Peter Jackson, and his group of talented tech turns.
Hunter News Now. 1, Hayden, Mike and Q.
As a university-based pantry, the Purple Apron is partially.
HNN has prepared me long term because I feel like this is the industry where what I want to do in the future. I want to work in TV production, and I feel like you're kind of dipping your feet into the water a little bit here.
I try to create a real-world experience in here for not only my interns, but for anybody who takes a studio class. Being in the studio crew gives you more access and experience into the studio to prepare you better for when you go out in the real world.
I got experience with Teradeks, with a jib, with like some studio cameras and switchers and the lighting board, like everything in a studio. I wouldn't have that experience without this internship and being part of HNN.
It's an incredible experience. I feel like I would have definitely learned and done a lot more activities in terms of film and media if I had started this out like way sooner in my educational career. So I recommend it to you.
For the days that we don't have HNN, we all kind of put in the work and come in here and actually prepare and rehearse. So that way for the week of HNN, we're actually ready.
To get that large of a group to work together as a team on a constant basis in a school environment is not an easy task. And it's an invaluable experience for the students.
Peter's, I'd say he would be that one uncle that you have in the family. He's like very sweet. He just wants the best for you. He wants you to succeed. He wants you to learn.
Nurturing and mentoring these students is basically my job satisfaction. I have other jobs and responsibilities here, but that's what I truly love.
We have that safety net of like, everything's going to be okay. If we don't do it right, if we make a mistake, because he's going to have our back and he's going to make sure we learn from that mistake.
Just being able to get the opportunity to know how to handle stressful environments and not let it take over. I feel like that is a really true and rich experience that you don't get anywhere else.
I'm just thankful to be a part of this community, this family. It's full of beautiful people. I've made amazing connections, amazing friends. It's a beautiful experience.
Time. Dissolve. Ready? I'm dissolving. Get in here.
And that's all for our final edition of Hunter News Now for the spring semester.
You can check out all of our student stories on our YouTube channel at Hunter College Journalism, and be sure to follow us at Hunter JOUPRPGM on Instagram and at Hunter Journ on X.
On behalf of everyone in the studio, thank you so much for watching.
Bye!